That bright red ball in the grass is not bright red to your dog. To them, it can almost melt into the lawn. Dogs are not seeing a black and white movie. They are seeing a different color world built around blues, yellows, brightness, motion, and smell. The strange part is that your living room may look less colorful to them, but certain movements may jump out faster than they do for you. Humans often choose dog toys with human eyes. We grab red, orange, or hot pink because they scream for our attention. But a dog's eyes are not designed to worship red. A blue toy on grass may be much more visible than the red one right beside it. The difference begins at the back of the eye, in the retina. This thin layer is packed with light-sensitive cells. Cones help sort color. Rods help detect dim light and movement. Humans have 3 main cone types. Dogs have 2. With 2 cone types, a dog's color world is closer to what a red-green colorblind human might experience. Blue is meaningful. Yellow is meaningful. But red and green do not separate cleanly into the bold opposites that humans see. Red does not disappear into nothing. Light from a red object still enters the eye. But the dog brain does not receive a separate red signal the way yours does. So red can become a duller, brownish, grayish, or yellowish color, depending on the object and the light. This is why the classic red ball in green grass is such a perfect visual trick. To us, the ball and grass are enemies. To a dog, they may be close relatives. The ball is not invisible, but it may not shout from the background. Now replace that ball with blue. Suddenly, the object has a cleaner signal. Many dogs can spot a blue or yellow toy more easily against green grass because those colors land closer to the strongest parts of their color vision. But color is only the first twist. A dog is not simply a person with fewer crayons. Their eyes trade some fine detail and color range for other strengths. The world they see is softer in one way and sharper in another. Compared with humans, dogs usually do not resolve fine detail as sharply at a distance. A person across a field may be a clear face to you, but to a dog, that same person may be more of a moving outline, posture, and familiar shape. If a dog could read an eye chart, many dogs would not score like a human with perfect vision. Their visual acuity is often estimated around the range where details must be closer to look clear. That does not mean poor vision. It means different priorities. Here is the trade that matters. Dogs are extremely tuned to motion. A still object may blend into the background, but the moment it moves, the visual system can lock onto it. This is the ancient hunter inside the modern couch companion. That is why a toy becomes easier once you throw it. On the ground, it is a colored object fighting the grass. In the air, it is a moving target crossing the visual field. The dog's eyes and brain are built to care about that change. Long before dogs slept beside our beds, their ancestors needed to notice prey, threats, and companions in changing light. A flicker between bushes mattered. A sudden run mattered. Fine red-green distinctions mattered less than detecting movement before it vanished. A dog's vision is especially interesting at dawn, dusk, and in dim rooms. Their retinas have many rods, the cells that perform well in low light. Rods do not give rich color, but they are powerful for brightness, shadow, and motion. Behind the retina, many dogs have a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum. Light passes through the retina, bounces off this layer, and gets a second chance to hit the photoreceptors. That is one reason dogs can function well in low light. That same structure creates the eerie eye shine you see when headlights or a camera flash hit a dog's eyes at night. It is not the eye producing light. It is the eye recycling light, turning darkness into usable information. There is a cost. Bouncing light inside the eye can add scatter, so the image may be brighter in dim conditions, but not as crisp as a human's daylight view. The dog eye is not trying to make a perfect photograph. It is trying to detect what matters. Now lower the camera to a dog's height. A chair becomes a tower. Table legs become a forest. Human faces are far above the action. The floor is not empty space. It is the main road, the message board, and the stage. From down there, your dog may not read your face first. They may read your walk, your shoulders, your hands, your direction, and the pattern of movement they know better than any strangers. To a dog, you are not just a face. You are a whole moving signal. Watch a dog when a hand reaches for a leash, a bowl, or a treat pouch. The visual detail may be soft, but the meaning is sharp. Dogs are experts at connecting human movements with outcomes because their world is packed with repeated visual clues. Dogs also tend to have a wider field of view than humans. The exact amount depends on head shape and eye position, but many dogs can see farther to the sides without turning their heads. They trade some front-focused depth for a bigger visual window. This side vision matters. A squirrel does not need to be directly in front of the nose to become important. A movement at the edge of the scene can snap into the dog's awareness. That is why your calm walk can change instantly. Not every dog sees from the same visual geometry. A long-nosed sighthound, a Labrador, and a flat-faced pug do not have identical eye placement or skull shape. The basic dog rules remain, but the balance of side vision, forward overlap, and focus can shift. Some long-nosed breeds have a horizontal band in the retina, often described as a visual streak. It helps sample the horizon, which makes sense for animals built to notice movement across open space. Their eyes are scanning a wide world. Shorter-faced dogs may have a different balance, with more emphasis toward the central field. This does not make one breed magical and another blind. It shows how the same species can carry many visual designs, shaped by skulls, jobs, and breeding history. Even screens can look different to dogs. Older screens or low refresh rates may appear more flickery to an animal sensitive to rapid changes in light. Modern screens are smoother, which is one reason some dogs seem more interested in television than people expect. A dog reacting to a dog on TV is not confused in a human way. It may be responding to motion, shape, sound, and learned patterns. If the image moves like an animal and sounds like an animal, the screen becomes worth investigating. But here is the biggest correction. Dogs do not rely on vision alone. Their visual world is stitched to smell. A ball may be hard to separate by color, but it carries the odor of rubber, grass, saliva, your hand, and every place it is rolled. To us, the ball is mainly a red circle. To a dog, it is a moving object, a scent object, a memory object, and a play object. Vision gives one layer. Smell and experience fill in the rest. Inside the house, this changes everything. Your dog may not admire the red blanket, the green pillow, and the orange toy as separate bursts of color. Instead, the home is a map of brightness, edges, movement, scent trails, and routines. A yellow tennis ball is famous for a reason. Against many backgrounds, yellow gives a stronger visual cue for dogs than red. It is not perfect in every scene, but it often sits in a part of the spectrum their eyes can use well. Change the background, and the entire puzzle changes. A red toy on snow may stand out by brightness. A blue toy in shadows may be harder. Dogs are not following human color names. They are reading contrast, movement, light, and context. In a dog-centered park, the most important things are not the prettiest flowers. It is the running child, the shifting squirrel, the dark entrance under a bush, the familiar human posture, the thrown toy crossing open space, and the scent trail that vision cannot show. This also explains a funny everyday moment. You toss a treat and your dog snaps slightly wrong. The treat is small, close, fast, and sometimes low contrast. Their eyes catch the movement, but judging the tiny final position can still be tricky. Then the treat hits the floor, and the nose takes over. What looked like a visual failure becomes a sensory handoff. The dog lowers its head and solves the problem with an instrument humans can barely imagine. On a night walk, the dog's world becomes even more alien. Streetlights glow, shadows stretch, eye shine flashes from other animals, and tiny movements in the dark become important. The colors fade, but the living signals remain. So when your dog searches for that red ball in the grass, they are not being silly. They are living in a visual world built on blue and yellow, motion and contrast, wide edges and dim light. The ball was obvious to you. The real mystery is how beautifully different it was to them.